Going to England was very interesting because it cured me from ever wanting to go back to England. It was an entirely different lifetime. I was a respectable sort of young man in a respectable job with a lot of respectable people around me. Yeah, it was a good time. It was a nice time. Somewhere during the late spring of 2012, it dawned on me that I actually could fly again, and that I actually had a reason to fly again. And that reason to fly again was because I had made friends in the city of Naples, Italy. That friendship produced a guitar, and that guitar produced a host of problems trying to deliver it to its owner. In the end, the most logical thing became get on a plane and hand deliver it. I got on a plane and I hand delivered it. Boarding the plane was an interesting affair in that I was overjoyed that at the ticket counter they said, you might be able to take that guitar in that case on board for free. It should fit in the overhead luggage. I had been very worried about it, but I was prepared to shell out $100 to let the thing go in the hold. I was overjoyed when it was going to be sitting above me on my flight. So eventually we're on the plane and we're sitting and we're waiting and they make the announcement, put your seatbelts on, fasten your seatbelts. And we sat for a few more minutes and I hear them fire up the engines to the Airbus, the A330. And I'm sitting next to the wing. I had a window seat at the motor, and I begin to feel us back up. And we reverse our direction, and we begin to move forward, and we're rolling down the tarmac. Rolling down the tarmac in a jet, no matter how big it is, it's not like rolling down the tarmac in a car or a bus or even a truck. These things aren't designed to move along the ground. They don't really care if you lose the fillings in your teeth. It was curious. It was curious watching the wings flax up and down as we went. But I had flown enough. I came from an aviation family. I had tremendous trust in anything that flies, rightly or wrongly. But there we were. Eventually, we are the plane next to take off. And I hear the Lufthansa pilot, he announces in his German accent, his impeccable German-English accent, that we're about to take off, and I hear the engines rev up. I can feel the airplane straining against the brakes, and eventually the brakes let go, and we are forced back in the seat. I hadn't felt that force in perhaps 2 decades. And I was amazed at the power of this airplane. It was more than I had ever remembered being forced back in the seat in just about anything I'd ever been in, even a high-performance car. Eventually we're going 165 miles an hour the takeoff speed, and I noticed that the ground is starting to shrink, and I realized we're airborne. I feel the wheels come up and they clunk, and you know that's a good sign when you hear the clunk. It means they're up in the bay and they're closed and they're locked closed. I feel the airplane accelerate even harder. And we're climbing very steep, and I'm looking back, and Philadelphia International is well behind me. And I watch, and I can see, and the flaps come up, and I can feel the airplane accelerate even further. And we climb. And we climb, and eventually I feel it's banked to the left, and I know that once we've banked to the left, that we're headed out over the Atlantic. And as we head out over the Atlantic, the sun is now beginning to set, and the sky is clear, and I make the transition into twilight, and eventually I make the transition into darkness. And that darkness was very curious because I couldn't see the ocean. The ocean was overcast. I could only see the moon. And the moon was spectacularly bright. And it begins, as I look out my window, it is right to the left-hand side of my window. It is the only thing I can really see in the sky. And every time I look down, I see nothing but this gray haze, and we fly on. The air was fairly smooth. Occasionally, though, we would hit the buffeting, and it was interesting. It let me know that, yes, we are actually guests in that space. And we are eventually at our cruising height, which was 39,000 feet. There's nothing to see in the ocean. There's no beautiful sparkle of the water. There's just this moon hanging outside my window. This fabulously bright moon. And it's gradually creeping across my window. The window became my sky, like watching a moon go across the sky. And they're making their announcements. They're giving us dinner or something, and I'm eating something that comes in a case. I don't know what it was. It was some sort of pasta, perhaps. It was hard to tell if it was cardboard or real, but when you're at 40,000 feet, you eat what they give you. There aren't any 7-Elevens to... they brought alcohol around and things. I don't think I didn't have any alcohol. I had already popped way too many pills on this, and alcohol would have probably dulled my senses beyond how they were dulled already, and we fly on. I have this marvelous little gadget in front of me. I can watch any kind of movie in the world, any kind of TV show in the world. But I have this little thing called Air Show, and when you press the button, it gives you your progress in your flight, your height, your speed, when you'll arrive, when you left, what the time is at your destination.
I never used those. Check it out. I don't think
I put it on. I put it on every now and then. I'm watching. What is that movie? Men in Black 3. And I periodically switch to Sky Show. And Sky Show just shows us we're in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, and I look out at the sky, and there's that fantastic moon. I watch, and now it's sort of in the middle of the window, and I've been flying for a really long time. Men in Black ends, and I think I put Spider-Man on. I just could not get into Spider-Man. Peter Parker and his stupid little life. I couldn't relate to it. I was not even able to relate to my own stupid little life at that point. I'm on my way to Naples, Italy, and I'm happy. At some point between Air Show and Spider-Man, I get a feeling in my stomach. I'm really going. It's really happening. I'm really going to see these people. I'm really going to sit down with these people. I'm going to play music with these people. I'm going to deliver a guitar to a person. And unless the plane goes down, this is really going to happen, and I can't stop it now. And I'm happy. And I go back and I flip around Air Show and Peter Parker, and I watch a documentary on, Atlantis. And it's all kind of neat. I look out my window and I look down. There's no ocean. There's an endless blanket of something down there, but there is no ocean. I glance up reassuringly at the moon. The moon is still there. And now it's on the right-hand side of my window. I've been flying for a very long time. And I turn on Sky Show and I realize we're coming up to the coast of England. Nothing to see. There's just this moon. Then suddenly I see a light in the sky, and it's got flashing lights. I know it's an airplane of some sort. It seems fantastically close, and I think, should this thing really be this close, coming in our direction? But maybe that's an illusion. Maybe perhaps it's cutting across us. But I watched this flashing light for quite a while, and eventually it disappears over the horizon, and I wonder where it was going. It was going in no direction that I recognized. But I know where I'm going. And I'm looking down and I'm looking at Sky Show. I'm over England. I'm thinking, I'm over England. I've been to England before. But I came in the middle of the day. And I'm wondering why I haven't seen anything on the ground all this time. And eventually Sky Show tells me I'm near London. And it's getting fairly close to dawn, but not quite. And I see a light on the ground. It's amber, orange light. And I look, and I see a light on the ground. And then I see another and another and another. And this overcast, this whatever has been blocking out the world below, has gone. And I see across as far as I can see from 40,000 feet lights. I realize I'm over London. And London is magnificent. I could, if I made the desire, pick out things that I know from the air of London. Mm-hmm. But I make no attempt. I just try and take it all in. And we're going, and I say, wow, London. And as mysteriously as the sky opened up, as the clouds opened up, the fog is back. We're over the coast. We crossed the channel. It's all overcast again. I begin to notice the moon is very, very far behind me, and I notice in front of me the sky is turning a gray-blue color, and soon there's a slight orangey pinkness to it. And I know that my plane is destined to land at 7 a.m. in Frankfurt, and I'm watching Sky Show through the fog on the ground. And I hear the pilot saying, we're approaching Frankfurt. Engines. We make contact with the tarmac, and he's, pilot, we've landed, enjoy your stay, and good luck in the next leg of your journey, wherever that may be, and in this very pleasant Germanic. And eventually we're at the terminal, and we go out through that tunnel, and I take that guitar and my case down from it. Everyone is so polite to me. Everyone sees this guitar. And somehow this guitar is special that I have this guitar. And people smile rather than, oh, this jerk is taking down a guitar. They see this guitar and they kind of smile and they say, yeah, you have to carry it through these tight things. It's okay. We're not going to be in your way. And I make my way through the tunnel, and I'm now in Frankfurt Airport. It's a little bit of light. The ground is wet. I know it's not the end of my journey.